You know what's funny? People sit around, they wait. They wait for a sign, for the stars to align, for someone to come along and give them permission to start. They keep saying, not yet, not now, maybe tomorrow. And you know what happens? Tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes next year. And before they know it, their whole damn life has passed them by. Let me tell you something about waiting. It's a lie. It's the prettiest, most seductive lie you'll ever hear. It whispers, take your time, be careful, you're not ready yet. But do you want to know the truth? You'll never feel ready. Never. Not for the things that matter, not for the things that will actually change your life. Because here's the secret no one likes to admit. Starting is messy. It's uncomfortable. It's terrifying. It's walking into the unknown without a map, without a plan, without a clue what the hell you're doing. But that's where the magic is. That's where growth lives. And yet, people avoid it. They cling to their comfort zones like lifeboats in the middle of the ocean, not realizing those lifeboats are sinking. Slowly, but surely. Because every second you spend waiting, every second you spend holding back, is a second you'll never get back. Time doesn't stop for anyone. Not for you. Not for me. Not for the excuses you keep telling yourself. Time keeps moving, and it doesn't care if you're scared, if you're tired, if you're not sure what the hell you're doing. It just keeps going. So what's it gonna be? Are you gonna sit there, letting the clock tick away? Or are you gonna stand up and take control? Are you gonna keep waiting for the perfect moment? Or are you going to make this moment the one that counts? Because let me tell you something. There is no perfect moment. There is no perfect plan, no perfect starting point. The stars will never align. The universe will never come down and hand you a neon sign saying, okay, it's time. That's not how it works. The only thing you need to start is the decision to start. That's it. Not confidence, not clarity, not certainty, just a decision. A choice to stop sitting on the sidelines of your own life and start playing the damn game. But here's the catch. It's not going to be easy. No, no, no. It's going to be messy, chaotic, and full of moments where you want to throw your hands in the air and say, why the hell did I even bother? And that's the point. That's where the journey really begins. Because starting isn't about being ready. It's about being willing. Willing to take the first step. Even when it feels like the ground might crumble beneath you. Willing to fail, to stumble, to look like an idiot if that's what it takes. Willing to face the fear, the doubt, the voice in your head that says, you can't do this. And that voice, it's a liar, a filthy, rotten liar. It doesn't want you to succeed. It doesn't want you to grow. It wants you to stay small, stay quiet, stay in the little box the world has built for you. But you weren't made for boxes. You weren't made to be ordinary, to play it safe, to settle for a life that doesn't set your soul on fire. No, you were made for more. So why the hell are you holding back? Why are you waiting for someone to give you permission to go after what you want? No one's coming to save you. No one's coming to push you forward. If you want it, you've got to take it. You've got to stand up, look fear in the eye and say, not today. You've got to stop letting the opinions of others dictate your decisions. Stop letting their doubts become your doubts. Stop letting their limitations define what you're capable of. Because here's the truth. No one knows what you're capable of. Not even you. Not yet. Not until you start. And when you do, you'll see. You'll see just how strong you are, just how resourceful, just how unstoppable. But you'll never know if you keep waiting, if you keep hiding behind excuses, behind fear, behind the lie that you're not ready yet. So start. Start messy. Start scared. Start unsure. Start with the odds stacked against you, with everyone telling you it's impossible. Start, not because you're confident, but because you're determined. Determined to prove them wrong. Determined to prove yourself wrong. Determined to show the world and yourself that you are so much more than they ever thought you could be. And here's the best part. Once you start, fear loses its grip. Doubt starts to fade. The voice in your head that said, "You can't do this," gets quieter and quieter until it's nothing more than a faint whisper. Because starting is the hardest part. It's the part where most people give up, where most people never even try. But once you get past that, once you take that first step, then the second, then the third, that's when the momentum kicks in. That's when you start to feel it. The fire, the drive, the unstoppable force inside you that's been waiting for this moment. And suddenly you realize it was never fear holding you back. It was you. But not anymore. Not today. Today is the day you start. Today is the day you stop waiting for permission, for clarity, for certainty. Today is the day you choose yourself. And when you do, when you do, the world better watch out. Because once you start, the world can't ignore you. You become the storm they didn't see coming, the chaos they never expected. They'll talk, they'll doubt, they'll laugh. Let them. Let their words fuel you. Let their disbelief become the spark that lights your fire. They don't have to believe in you, because you believe in yourself. That's all that's ever mattered. Starting isn't just an action, it's a declaration, a battle cry. It's you standing up and saying, "I'm here, and I'm not backing down." And the funny thing, the moment you take that first step, all those people who doubted you, they'll start paying attention. They'll still doubt at first. They'll still laugh. But slowly, so slowly, they'll begin to wonder. They'll wonder how you keep going, how you keep pushing, how you keep proving them wrong. And eventually, they'll stop laughing. They'll stop doubting. And they'll start wishing they had the guts to do what you're doing. But by then, it won't matter, because you'll be too far ahead to hear them, too focused on your own journey, on your own growth, to care what they think. That's the beauty of starting. It doesn't just silence your fears, it silences theirs too. And the best part, the person you become along the way, the you that emerges from the struggle, from the fight, from the chaos of chasing your dreams. That version of you, they're unstoppable, they're fearless, they're everything you've always known you could be, but were too afraid to embrace. So let them talk, let them doubt, let them watch as you rise step by step from the ashes of their expectations. Because this is your journey, your story, and no one, not fear, not doubt, not the opinions of others, gets to control how it ends. And one day when you look back on this moment, on the moment you finally chose to start, you'll realize it wasn't the beginning of the journey that mattered. It was the decision to take control, to stop waiting, to start living. And that's the most powerful thing you'll ever do. Because once you take control, everything changes. The world doesn't look the same anymore. What once seemed like mountains turn into molehills. What once felt like barriers start looking like challenges. Challenges you know you can overcome. And the doubts, the fears, they don't disappear, but they lose their power. They're no longer in the driver's seat. Do you feel that? That's the fire. That's the spark that's been buried under years of hesitation, under layers of excuses, under the weight of fear. It's alive now, roaring, burning through every doubt, every insecurity, every reason you ever gave yourself for staying stuck. And once that fire is lit, there's no putting it out. Not unless you let it. Not unless you go back to the comfort, back to the excuses, back to the lies fear tells you. But why would you? Why would you ever trade the power of this moment for the illusion of safety? Because that's all it ever was. An illusion. Safety, security, comfort. It's all a lie. A trap designed to keep you small, to keep you quiet, to keep you from realizing just how powerful you really are. But now you see it for what it is. Now you see that the only thing standing between you and the life you want is you. Not fear, not doubt, not the opinions of others. Just you, your choices, your actions, your willingness to step into the unknown and claim what's yours. And let me tell you something. It is yours. The dream, the goal, the vision you've been carrying in your heart, it's yours for the taking. But you've got to take it. You've got to reach out and grab it with both hands, even if they're shaking, even if the world is screaming at you to stop. Because the world, it's full of people who never started, people who let fear win, people who let the opinions of others drown out their own voice. Don't be one of them. Don't be the person who looks back on their life with regret, wondering what could have been. Be the person who looked fear in the face and said, "You don't scare me anymore." Be the person who decided that their dreams were worth the risk, worth the effort, worth every ounce of pain and struggle it took to get there. Be the person who started, no matter what. Because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Not how far you go, not how much you achieve, but the fact that you started, the fact that you chose to live your life on your terms, no matter what anyone else said. And when you do, when you take that first step, and then the next, and then the next, you'll realize something incredible. You'll realize that fear never really had any power at all. It was just a shadow, a phantom, a story you told yourself. But you're real. Your dreams are real. And the life you've been waiting for, it's real too. All you have to do is start. So what are you waiting for? Start your damn journey. And here's the twist. Starting your journey doesn't mean you suddenly have all the answers. It doesn't mean the road ahead will be smooth or easy. No. In fact, it'll likely be the opposite. There will be moments that make you question everything. Moments where you'll feel like quitting would be easier. But let me ask you this. What's the alternative? Staying stuck? Living the same day over and over, pretending you're okay with it? Watching others pass you by while you sit on the sidelines, convincing yourself you'll start someday? Let me tell you something about someday. It's a lie. It's the excuse we use to avoid facing our own potential. Someday is nothing but the graveyard of dreams. So, let the world throw its punches. Let life get messy. Let fear whisper in your ear. You'll take the hits and keep going because you've decided you're worth it. The pain you feel now, it's not permanent. It's a stepping stone. It's shaping you into the person you're meant to be. And that person? Oh, they're unstoppable. You see, once you start, you unlock a part of yourself that you didn't even know existed. A part that's stronger, fiercer, and more resilient than you ever imagined. That's the beauty of the journey. It reveals you to yourself. It strips away the excuses, the lies, the illusions, and shows you what you're really made of. And let me tell you this. You're made of fire. You're made of grit and determination and a power so deep that fear doesn't stand a chance. But you won't see it. You won't feel it until you take that first step, until you leap into the unknown and say, "Here I am, let's do this." Because when you start, the game changes. The world bends to those who refuse to wait. Doors open, opportunities arise, not because they weren't there before, but because you weren't looking. You weren't ready to see them. But now you're ready. Ready to fail, ready to fall, ready to get back up and try again. Because failure isn't the end, it's the beginning. Every time you fall, you learn. Every time you stumble, you grow. Every time you get back up, you get stronger. And eventually, you realize that the falls don't matter as much as the fact that you keep getting up. That's the difference between those who succeed and those who don't. It's not talent, it's not luck, it's the willingness to keep going, no matter what. It's the courage to take the hits and keep moving forward. So start scared, start messy, start without knowing what the hell you're doing. Just start. Because the world doesn't wait for you to feel ready. It doesn't care if you're scared. It only rewards those who dare to act. And you're not just going to act, you're going to conquer. You're going to prove to yourself and to everyone else that you were always capable of more. You just needed to give yourself permission to try. So stop waiting for the perfect moment, because it doesn't exist. Stop waiting for someone to hand you an opportunity, because they won't. Stop waiting for the fear to go away, because it won't. The only way out is through the fear, through the doubt, through the pain. And when you come out on the other side, you won't just have achieved your goals. You'll have become someone unstoppable, someone unshakable, someone who knows without a doubt that they can face anything. So let today be the day you stop hesitating. Let today be the day you choose yourself. Let today be the day you start your damn journey and never look back. Because once you do, the world will have no choice but to notice. And when the world starts to notice, it gets interesting. People will look at you differently, some with admiration, some with envy, and some, those are my favorites, with fear. You see, nothing terrifies people more than someone who's decided they won't be controlled by fear anymore. Because when you do that, when you finally stop letting fear rule your life, you become unpredictable, untouchable, dangerous to the system that thrives on keeping you small, dangerous to the people who benefit from your hesitation, your doubt, your silence. Because now, you're not playing their game anymore. Now, you're playing by your rules. And let me tell you something about rules. They're made to be broken. Oh yes, the moment you realize that the rules of the world were never meant to serve you, but to cage you, that's when the real fun begins. You don't ask for permission anymore. You don't wait for someone to open the door. You kick it down. You walk through like you own the place. Because you do. The moment you choose to stop waiting, stop doubting, stop holding back, that's the moment you take ownership of your life. And when you own your life, the power you hold, it's intoxicating, it's electrifying, it's unstoppable. But don't get too comfortable. No. Comfort is the enemy. It's the slow poison that creeps in when you think you've made it. When you think the battle is over. Newsflash, the battle is never over. Not as long as you're alive. Not as long as there's another dream to chase, another mountain to climb, another level of yourself to unlock. Because the journey doesn't end when you reach the top. It begins again. New challenges, new fears, new doubts. But by then, you're not the same person anymore. By then, you've faced fear so many times it doesn't scare you the same way. By then, you've fallen and risen so often that failure feels like an old friend. And that's the beauty of it. The journey changes you. It sharpens you. It shapes you into someone who doesn't just survive the chaos, but thrives in it. Someone who looks at the storm and says, "Bring it on." But here's the thing. They don't tell you this part. They don't tell you that once you start, there's no going back. No slipping quietly into the shadows. No retreating into the safety of your old life. Once you've tasted what it feels like to really live, to really fight for what you want, you can't go back to being who you were. And that's the point, isn't it? You don't want to go back. You don't want to be the person who waited, who hesitated, who let fear win. You want to be the person who stood up, who fought back, who dared to chase the life they've always dreamed of. Because that person, that's who you were always meant to be. That's the real you, the one who's been buried under years of doubt and fear and excuses, the one who's been waiting for this moment. So don't stop now. Don't look back. Don't let the whispers of fear or the laughter of doubters or the weight of the unknown hold you down. Keep going. Keep fighting. Keep proving to yourself that you're so much stronger than you ever realized. Because every step you take, every battle you fight, every victory you claim, it all adds up. It all brings you closer to the life you deserve. The life you've been too afraid to chase until now. And when you finally get there, when you stand at the top and look back at the road you've traveled, you'll realize something incredible. The pain, the struggle, the fear, it was all worth it. Every second of it. Because it wasn't just about the destination. It was about becoming the kind of person who could make it there. The kind of person who doesn't just survive the chaos, but thrives in it. The kind of person who refuses to settle, refuses to stop, refuses to be anything less than extraordinary. So what's it going to be? Are you going to keep waiting, keep hesitating, keep letting fear win? Or are you going to stand up, take that first step, and start your damn journey? Because the clock is ticking, and your life, it's waiting. And when you take that step, when you finally move forward, something magical happens. You feel alive. Not the kind of alive that comes from breathing, eating, or existing. No, I'm talking about the raw, electrifying, pulse-racing kind of alive. The kind where every cell in your body screams, "This is it. This is what you were made for." It's addictive, isn't it? That feeling of momentum. That surge of power as you realize that every limit you ever believed in was just a wall you built yourself. And now, brick by brick, you're tearing it down. The world starts to look different when those walls fall. Bigger, wider, full of possibilities you were too blind to see before. But don't mistake this high for ease. The path won't get smoother just because you've started. In fact, it might get rougher. Life doesn't hand you success on a silver platter just because you decided to get up off the ground. It tests you, pushes you, tries to break you all over again. And that's where most people fall. Most people stop when it gets hard. Most people retreat when they realize the journey isn't fair, isn't kind, isn't forgiving. But not you. You're different. You're not here for easy. You're not here for fair. You're here to prove, once and for all, that you're stronger than anything life throws at you. Because you know what's scarier than pain? Regret. Waking up one day and realizing you let fear win. That you let time slip through your fingers while you sat there, waiting for courage, waiting for permission, waiting for the right moment. Regret is a monster, and it feeds on the chances you didn't take. But not you, not anymore, because now you see it. Fear and pain aren't your enemies. They're your tools. They're the fire that forges you, the pressure that shapes you. Every moment of doubt, every stumble, every failure is just sharpening the blade. And when that blade is ready, oh, you'll cut through anything. You'll become a force of nature, the kind of person who walks into a room and makes people pause, not because of your achievements, but because of your presence, because they can see it in your eyes. That fire, that hunger, that refusal to be anything less than what you're capable of. And they'll wonder. Oh, they'll wonder how you did it, how you turned the pain into power, the fear into fuel. They'll see the scars and think they're marks of defeat. But you'll know better. You'll know that every scar is a badge of honor, proof that you fought, proof that you survived, proof that you refused to give up. Because that's what this journey is about, isn't it? Not perfection, not guarantees, but resilience. The unshakable belief that no matter how hard it gets, no matter how many times you fall, you'll get back up every single time. And when you do, when you rise from the ashes of every failure, every heartbreak, every setback, that's when you realize the truth. The truth they don't want you to know. The truth that changes everything. It's not the pain that breaks you. It's the fear of it. It's not the failure that stops you. It's the belief that you're not strong enough to recover. But now you know better. Now you know that you're capable of withstanding anything, of enduring everything. So keep going, keep fighting, keep proving to yourself that the limits you thought were real were nothing but illusions. And one day, when you look back on this journey, you'll see it for what it was. Not a path to a goal, but a transformation, a rebirth. The moment you stopped surviving and started living. And that's worth every ounce of pain, every drop of sweat, every tear. So don't stop now. Don't slow down. The finish line isn't the prize. It's the person you become along the way. Now go. Show the world what happens when fear meets someone who refuses to back down. Because here's the secret. The world doesn't break you. You break you. Every time you let fear dictate your choices, every time you let doubt whisper its poison in your ear, every time you let someone else's opinion outweigh your own, those are the cracks that weaken you. But now you're not that person anymore. You've seen the truth, haven't you? That the power has always been in your hands. The choice has always been yours. To fight or to fold, to rise or to run. And now, for the first time, you're choosing to fight. And it's not just about proving them wrong. No, that's too small, too shallow. This is about proving something to yourself. That you're more than the pain, more than the fear, more than the mistakes and the failures and the voices that told you you can't. Because you can. You're not here to fit in. You're not here to play it safe, to shrink yourself, to dim your light so others feel comfortable. No, you're here to burn, to shine so brightly that even the shadows run from you. But don't get it twisted. It won't happen overnight. Oh no. Growth is messy, painful, unpredictable. One day you'll feel unstoppable, and the next, you'll feel like you're back at square one. But that's the beauty of it, isn't it? The struggle, the chaos, the storm. Because it's in the storm where you find your strength. You'll stumble, you'll fall, you'll question if it's all worth it. And in those moments, you'll want to give up. You'll want to retreat to the comfort of the familiar. But let me ask you this. Was the familiar ever really comfortable, or was it just tolerable? because that's what most people settle for. Tolerable. A life that's good enough. A life where they're not happy, but they're not miserable either. A life where they survive, but they don't live. And you've already decided that's not enough for you. You've chosen the hard path, the lonely path, the path that makes people look at you and wonder, why don't they just give up? But they don't understand, do they? They don't know what it's like to look in the mirror and see potential staring back at you, to feel the fire in your chest, the pull in your gut, the voice in your head screaming, "Keep going!" Because that's what this is, a calling, a purpose, a reason to get up every morning and fight like hell, no matter how much it hurts. And when you finally make it, when you stand at the top, battered and bruised but victorious, you won't just feel proud, you'll feel free. Free from the chains you didn't even know you were wearing. Free from the doubts that once held you back. Free from the need to prove anything to anyone but yourself. And that freedom, that's the real reward. Not the money, not the success, not the recognition. The freedom to live life on your terms, to look fear in the eye and say, "You don't own me anymore." Because fear only owns the people who let it. And you've learned to own it, to use it, to turn it into fuel. So keep going, keep climbing, keep fighting, because the world doesn't give its rewards to those who wait. It gives them to those who take them. And you're not just going to take what's yours, you're going to take it all. Now, start your damn journey. The world is watching. Because here's the thing, this journey isn't just about you, it's bigger than you. It's about everyone who's watching you, the ones who said you couldn't do it, the ones who laughed, doubted, and walked away. But it's also about the silent ones, the ones who see you and think, if they can do it, maybe I can too. You're not just proving yourself, you're lighting the way for others. You're showing them that fear doesn't have to win, that pain doesn't have to define them, that it's possible to rise, even when the world seems determined to keep you down. And that's power. Not the kind of power that comes from money or fame or status. No, this is the kind of power that lasts, the kind that can't be taken away, the kind that makes people remember your name, not because of what you have, but because of who you are. So what's next? More challenges, more pain, more moments where you'll feel like you can't go on. But now, you know the truth, don't you? That those moments aren't the end. They're just the beginning. Because every time you face the pain, every time you push through the fear, every time you refuse to quit, you're becoming something greater, stronger, unstoppable. And one day, when you look back on this journey, you won't just see the scars, you'll see the victories, the lives you've touched, the mountains you've climbed, and you'll realize that the pain wasn't just a part of the process. It was the price of becoming the person you were always meant to be. So face the pain, embrace it, let it shape you, break you, and rebuild you. Because this is your story, your journey, your life. And no one, no fear, no doubt, no failure can take it away from you. And when you stand there at the end of it all, you'll see what the pain was building. A version of yourself that doesn't just endure but thrives. A version of yourself that doesn't fear the darkness but dances in it. Because that's the secret they never told you. Pain isn't the enemy, it's the teacher. Every sleepless night, every tear, every moment you thought you'd break was carving you into something extraordinary. something the world didn't expect. Because the world, it loves to put people in boxes, to label them, to say, this is all you'll ever be. But you refused. You chose to step out of the box, to burn it down, to take the pieces of yourself that the world tried to destroy and turn them into armor, not to hide behind, but to wear proudly, to show the world that no matter how much it tried to break you, you're still standing. And that's the most dangerous thing of all. A person who's been broken, but refuses to stay down. A person who's looked their pain in the eye and said, you don't scare me anymore. Because once you've done that, nothing can touch you. The doubts, the failures, the people who tried to tear you down, they lose their power. Their words become whispers, their actions irrelevant, because you've risen above it all. You've become something they can't understand. And that's okay. Not everyone will get it. Not everyone will see what you've gone through, what you've sacrificed, what you've endured. But that doesn't matter, does it? Because this journey was never about them. It was about proving to yourself that you could do it, that you could face the pain, face the fear, face the world, and come out stronger. And now you're unstoppable. So take the next step, face the next challenge, embrace the next battle, because this is what you were made for. Not to live a small, quiet life, but to rise, to fight, to conquer. And when it's all said and done, you'll look back at the pain, at the fear, at the journey, and you'll smile. Not because it was easy, but because it was worth it. So, start your damn journey, and don't you dare stop. Because here's the truth. The journey doesn't end when you reach the top. The top is just the beginning. The moment you think you've made it, you'll find there's more to conquer, more to face, more to prove. But this time, it's different. You're different. You've been forged by fire, hardened by pain, shaped by your own struggles. Now, the world can throw whatever it wants at you, and you'll just smile. The people who doubted you, let them doubt. Let them watch as you rise. Watch as you push past every obstacle that they said would stop you. But here's the kicker. They won't get it. They won't understand how you did it, how you kept going when the world tried to tear you apart, and you'll smile again. Because their disbelief, that's the fuel. You see, there's nothing more powerful than a person who knows their worth, who's seen their own resilience, and has the scars to prove it. You're not just surviving anymore, you're thriving. You're living proof that nothing can break you unless you let it. And you're not the type to let anything break you, not anymore. And when the next wave comes, when the next challenge appears, when the next heartbreak threatens to drag you back down, remember this, you are already built for it. You are stronger than any storm, tougher than any trial. You've walked through the fire and now you shine like it. So let them try. Let them throw their punches. Let them test you. They'll be surprised when they find out that the harder they push, the harder you fight back. You're not just facing the pain now. You've become the pain. You've turned your weaknesses into weapons, your failures into lessons, your doubts into determination. The world doesn't know what's coming. They think they can stop you, slow you down, hold you back. But you know better. You've seen it all, and you've walked through it all. You've survived the worst. And now you're ready to thrive, to rise higher, to become the very thing they fear. So when the world tells you to stop, tells you to quit, tells you it's too much, laugh. Laugh because you've already faced it all, and you know, there is no stopping someone who refuses to quit. And when you reach the top, when you look down at all you've overcome, you won't just see a victory, you'll see the truth. That the pain was never the enemy. The fear was never the enemy. The enemy was always you. The only thing that could ever hold you back was your own belief that you weren't enough. But now you know that you are more than enough. So, keep walking, keep fighting, keep proving them wrong. The world has no idea what you're about to do. And that's the most beautiful part. Now go. Show them who you really are. Show them that nothing, absolutely nothing can stop you. And when you take that step, when you finally push past all the noise, the doubt, the fear, it's not just a step forward. No, it's a declaration, a loud, resounding statement to the world, to yourself, to the universe. I am here, and I'm not going anywhere. You've been broken, sure. You've been knocked down, told that you weren't enough, that you couldn't, that you shouldn't, and you could have believed it. Oh, it would have been so easy to give in, to let the weight of the world crush you, to listen to the voices that told you to be small. But you didn't. And that's the moment that changes everything. Because once you faced the worst and still decided to rise, there is nothing that can hold you back. Nothing. It doesn't matter how many times you fall, how many battles you lose along the way, because every time you'll rise again and you'll be stronger for it. Pain doesn't break you. Pain only makes you sharper. And the world? It will try to break you. It will throw everything it has at you. It will tempt you to give up, to sit down, to quit. But you won't. You'll keep going. Because you know something they don't. You know that quitting is the only real defeat. And you're not a quitter. You're a fighter. It's not easy. It's not supposed to be. Life wasn't made to be lived on easy street. It wasn't meant to be comfortable or predictable. But that's where the beauty is. The real beauty. It's in the struggle, the fight, the pain. Because through all of that, you discover who you really are. You discover that you are capable of things you never thought possible. Every time you think you can't go on, every time you feel like you're too far gone, remember, there's power in the darkness. There's power in the fight. You're not losing, you're learning. Every failure is a lesson. Every bruise is a badge of honor. Every wound is a story. And every scar is proof that you're still here. So keep going. Keep fighting. You'll fall again. You'll hurt again. But you'll always get up. Always. Because that's what makes you dangerous. That's what makes you unstoppable. The world doesn't get to dictate your story. You do. And you've only just begun to write it. The pain, the fear, the setbacks. They were never the end of your story. They were just chapters. The chapters that made you who you are today. And when you finally stand tall, when you look back at everything you've been through, you won't feel defeated. You won't feel exhausted. No. You'll feel something much stronger. You'll feel proud. Proud of how far you've come. Proud of how much you've overcome. Proud of the person you've become. The world will keep trying to break you. But every time, you'll laugh. You'll laugh because you know something they don't. You know that the fight doesn't end when you get knocked down. No. It ends when you decide that you're done being afraid, done being broken, done being anything less than the warrior you've become. So rise. Rise again. Rise and prove to the world, to yourself, that nothing will stop you. That you will never be the one who gives up. Because you've started this journey, and you're going to finish it. You're going to finish it no matter what. And That's the most beautiful victory of all. And once you've finished, when you stand at the peak, you'll know something profound. The journey never truly ends. Oh, you might take a breath, you might rest for a moment, but you'll always be pushing forward. Because you see, what others don't realize is that when you refuse to quit, when you refuse to let the world shape you into something you're not, you never stop evolving. You never stop fighting. You never stop winning. So yes, there will be more battles. There will be times when it feels like everything is crashing down around you. But by now, you've learned something the world refuses to acknowledge, that you are the storm. You are the force that no one can reckon with. Every time life pushes you to the ground, you rise higher, stronger, more unrelenting. Because you now understand, the struggle doesn't define you, it refines you. Every failure becomes the foundation for your future success. Every setback, every moment of doubt, it only makes the victory sweeter. Those who doubted you, they'll still be watching, still wondering how you did it, still too afraid to take their own steps forward. They'll look at you and see someone they can't understand, someone who chose to fight when they could have just given up. And that's the key. The key to all of it. The secret that no one tells you. It's not about having everything together. It's about showing up every single day when you want to quit. It's about choosing to move one foot in front of the other, even when the world tells you to stay still. You've learned that success isn't handed to you. You have to take it. And when you do, when you claim what's yours, you don't just take a prize. You take your power back. You take your future, your destiny, your life. So don't stop now. Don't even think about stopping. You've come this far. Why would you ever turn back? There's a whole world waiting for you to show it just how powerful you are. There are dreams that have yet to be realized, mountains that have yet to be climbed, battles that have yet to be fought. And you're just getting started. When the world tells you to stop, you keep moving. When it tells you to quit, you press harder. When it tries to drag you back down, you show it who's boss. You rise higher, smarter, and more ruthless with every step. You've walked through fire, you've been through hell, and you're still here. You'll keep going because you are the one who controls the narrative of your life. So keep moving, keep climbing, keep breaking down the barriers they've tried to set for you. Show the world what it looks like when someone refuses to be broken. Show them what it looks like when someone truly, truly decides to live on their own terms. And when you look back, you won't see a trail of destruction. No, you'll see a path paved by courage, by strength, by grit. You'll see the legacy of someone who decided that nothing could stand in their way. You are that person, and nothing at all can ever take that away from you. Because when it's all said and done, the one thing that remains is your spirit. The fire inside that refused to be extinguished, that refused to bow down. You'll stand tall, not because you never fell, but because every time you did, you got up stronger. And that's what will make you unstoppable. Your refusal to let the world break you. Your willingness to walk through every storm, face every fear, and still keep your head high. So now, as you stand at the edge of everything you've worked for, know this: the journey will continue. It will always continue. The challenges, the pain, the battles, they don't stop, but neither do you. Because you've discovered something powerful along the way. The only true victory is living life on your terms, regardless of the obstacles, and as long as you keep moving, keep fighting, there will be no end to what you can achieve. So, step forward, show the world the force you've become, and never forget, pain doesn't define you. Fear doesn't control you. Only you have the power to decide who you become. And you, my friend, are unstoppable.